Hey everybody, and
Hello,
we're
hello.
back. I am Renee DeCherry, and I'm here with Mark Caneso.
Hello, hello.
We are glad to be here on the last day.
Final day, day 3.
So if you're just joining us, we've been doing hand lettering all this week. So on Tuesday, Wednesday, and today, which is Thursday, hello, where am I? We've been featuring hand lettering artists. And I'm sorry to say that I haven't been able to watch them all, but I'm certain that they were fabulous. And we are Mark and Renee. They're at noon, right? And so we've got Cindy coming up after us, but stick around because you've got to see what Mark has cooking up for us. We also have, gotta let you know, there is a chat and win, so you can win some fun prizes. Mark has graciously brought in this incredible, beautiful zine of his called Twofold. And during the chat and win, you could win this. It will come to you. Absolutely come to you, and it's just really lovely artwork. It's excellent. You are a boss.
Thank you.
So
Get on that chat and win.
yeah, get on the chat and win. And then today, actually, there's no challenge. Usually at Adobe Live, what we do is a challenge every day, so you guys can submit something fun that you've made. But today we're doing something a little bit different. We like to do portfolio review on the last day. So we're gonna be looking at a couple of portfolios and getting sort of Mark's feedback on what's going on with them.
So how did someone win the piece? If there's no...
There's chat and win.
Oh, there's chat and win.
So there's two different things. I'm
Okay.
sorry, I was not clear. We've got chat and win, which will come up soon, about half an hour or so. And then later on, we're gonna do the portfolio
Okay,
review.
I was confused. I think you said it right.
I probably said
I should
it
pay
wrong.
attention.
So, Mark, tell us a little bit about what we've done for the last 2 days so that we can catch up anybody who hasn't joined us.
Sure, yeah. So we started out on paper and pencil on day 1,
Yep.
way back when,
Way back when.
all the way back in the pencil. So day 1, I had a sketch I brought in, and we went through some, refinement of it and kind of tuning it and kind of figuring out some problem areas, and brought that in yesterday into Illustrator, and we walked through how I go about vectorizing something at this stage. And yesterday we did a little printout of that at the end, and so this is where we were.
Because looking at the print is so much different than looking at it on the screen. Like, I can even see, like,
You
like
just you just see a lot of things that you're staring at it so long on the screen. It's nice to print it out and kind of sit down with it again and kind of reassess some things, like figure out what you can improve on, or what's working fine and what you want to keep. So I started drawing all over this just in my at the very end of yesterday, but I actually went through after the stream yesterday, and I redrew.
Overworker.
I redrew it again because there was just some things that were still bothering me about it, and so that was I'm a boss here. Hold on one sec. That was these new ones. So I redrew this version.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
So you can see quite a bit. It's quite a bit different.
It is. It really is.
I was trying to balance it out a little bit more. This was feeling a little awkward in terms of how the 3 words were kind of locking up. So I did this version, and then I actually vectorized this version
Cool.
earlier, and that's what I'm gonna show you right now. And we'll continue to refine it and maybe throw in some details of stuff and some of see how to kind of take it towards even more refined and complete.
Cool. So that's where we're headed today.
That's what I plan on, and I'll show you where we were at vector-wise yesterday.
Okay, cool. And again, the phrase that he's lettering is the comfort zone, because Mark said he's not really in his comfort zone up here in front of all of the world. But you know what? I feel like you actually are.
It's getting more comfortable. So
I think you're
that's good.
doing an amazing job, and I bet the chat would agree with me. Hello, chat. Thank you for joining us. Glad to see you all.
Please shout out questions if you have them about what I'm doing or if I'm not explaining myself.
Absolutely. Get your questions in the chat, and I'll do my best to watch them and make sure that we get them over to Mark so we can share the learning.
Yeah, so here's where we were at just like a first pass of vector yesterday. This is what I had printed out, and even before we printed it out, or while it was being printed out, I had already started making some adjustments to it and just kind of moving some stuff around. So if we look at, this was the redraw that I did, and so this was the version that I vectorized earlier. And you can even see this. I've already started taking liberties with how the vectors are not exactly what I draw.
But I really like the balance. I can see you've really made the letter forms sort of like feel like they're all one family.
Yeah, and I wanted to continue just kind of like how can I just make these forms just feel like they are just nestling in next to each other. So
comfy,
getting all comfy next to each other. So I did that version, and then I did a couple other things. So here's some of the areas that were still bothering me here. For the most part, a lot of this R, I still wasn't still very happy with how this leg is kicking down under.
Yeah. I like it. Looks snuggly, so I really like that R. In fact, you've been picking on that R for the last 3 days, and I really like it. I just want to make it clear that I really like that R.
Well, I'm gonna like that R before today's over. So.
So I see that Tiffany in the chat said that she watched the 2 replays of Tuesday and Wednesday, and now she's joining us live. Yeah, thank you, Tiffany. And so I just want to let the chat know that, yeah, if you missed seeing Mark actually sketch it out, or you want to see his first vector version, you can check out the replays. There's a tab up above the player, and you can watch all of the fabulous people who have been on Adobe Live this week.
Yes, you should do that, because I plan on going back and rewatching the other episodes, because I caught a couple pieces of them, and I know there's some good stuff in there.
Whoa, that one feels so different.
Yeah, so this was some of the, I'm trying to put them next to each other so I can show you.
Yeah.
What? This is how my artboards are. I kind of jump all over the place, so bear with me.
No. It's very familiar. My room's a total mess, so it looks like my room a little bit, like put it everywhere.
You mean your comfort zone?
Yes, that's my comfort zone.
So yeah, some of the areas you can see compared to the 2 together. The C is quite large, and it was feeling a little bit heavy. So I was trying to figure out how can I, add some more white space in this area. So I brought it up. I kind of cut into it. I made this little this curve here, this ball, a little larger, so that I could actually remove some of the weight here.
Yeah, I see that.
And then I changed the way this, as I was spacing the comfort out and kind of adjusting some of the weights in here, it started getting wider, and so I had this stroke here, and then I was like, well, there's a little bit of more room in there to play with, so I ended up kind of changing the direction of this T, so it kicks out this way now.
And I really like that. Like that, it just feels so swooshy. Like it gives it more swoosh.
Yeah, and everything was kind of going down and up and around this way, so I thought it was nice to have a piece that came out that way to kind of help balance things out. I ended up doing this like long, big ending to the E here to kind of occupy this space a little bit more.
It's more movement. There's a lot more movement, I think, in the second one, whereas the other one's like, ooh, I'm staying right here. But this one like has a feeling of like.
And and this is what I mean when I talk about improvising, or basically I'm just kind of assessing the design as I go and trying stuff out. I mean, that's the great thing. You just duplicate it and make another iteration. A lot of times maybe you go down a path that's like, well, I need to go back to the thing I did prior. But that's part of the design process for me.
Yeah, absolutely. It's part of the design process for me too. I like to draw, and I like to try to draw, like I said this yesterday, I try to draw what I don't want to draw first. Like if I want to draw a scary monster, I'll draw a cute little animal, and then you have something to sort of balance off of. So I really like, I think seeing you do that as well is really nice, as an artist. Like,
these are not, even though they're they're refined forms in terms of being vector, they're not necessarily, it's not final. So these are still sketching in my mind. So
yeah. So I had a question on the chat. Roxanne wants to know if you have any tips or favorite printers. Do you have a printer at home that you love, and or like a printer you've used that was like, this is a sweet printer?
I had an old Brother just black and white laser printer that I love. It lived forever. It never died. The toner never ran out.
That's laser printing.
Yeah, and I do so much work in just black, looking at forms, that it's always been good to me. They printed something here yesterday. I don't know what printer this is, but this is awesome.
I don't know either. I saw that too. I was like, ooh, who's got this printer? Like, where's that at?
So I don't necessarily have a recommendation for a printer if you're looking for color, but if you're just looking for black and white, I really recommend just getting like a small laser printer, and you can get quite a bit done with that.
Yeah, yeah, that's great. Also, you know, I forgot to mention that if you want Mark to review your portfolio, you want to submit that. That was something that I left out, and Tim just reminded me by putting it in the chat. So let me go ahead and make sure you all know that there is a tab above chat where you can submit your portfolio so that Mark can take a look. And we'll be doing that like 45 minutes in or something like that. I'm not sure. It'll be a little bit.
We'll get to it when we get to it.
That's right.
Once we have enough submissions in. So I was going to, I will continue to refine this as we go, but I was gonna kind of show you some other, like, of my tricks for helping. A lot of these forms kind of are crashing into each other, and so in order to help with some of the readability and legibility of some of this stuff, I will often introduce like shadows and some like inner line work and things just to help kind of shape those letters.
Yeah, you mentioned it yesterday, right? Bringing things forward and pushing them back.
Yeah, I was doing it just in this, well, not actually, this sketch I was doing it. I was kind of just quickly shadowing. I do tend to do that all in Illustrator as well. Sometimes I'll do it on a printout first, but we can just kind of walk through how I do that.
Yeah, please.
So I'm just going to use this version, even though it's not final. So what I often do is I end up converting it to white and putting it on black.
Why is that?
Because when I'm drawing the shadows, I do them very roughly.
Okay.
So I'll just draw a piece like that, and if I have it on black and I multiply it, or if I just get a gray, and then I multiply to kind of show that.
You can be sloppy.
Yeah, you can be sloppy because you don't see this stuff in here. And in the end, if I make it another color, again, it's one of those like, okay, now I'm going through and I'll do the refinements of it all.
That's smart.
So this, again, is just a way for me to quickly put some stuff down, kind of still in that sketchy sketch mode. So I kind of like that little placement of the shadow, just to show the top stroke and how it hits this thing. So I'm gonna leave it there.
Yeah, it looks cool.
Yeah, and so here, if I follow the stroke around, it's like I have decisions to make in terms of like, oh man, do I want to make this? Do I want to make this stroke of the H come in front? Actually, I'll just draw a new one.
Yeah. Yeah, that's a great question because I feel like I'm really lazy in Illustrator and I won't draw a new shape. You know, I'll just be like, I'll just push these points around. Do you have like you normally draw a new one, or do you just like grab a?
It depends on what. So this comes in. It was coming in this way.
And you need it
so
that
I
way.
figure I'll do that one. So I'll redraw it. But if I had another piece that was like, I want to make it, you know, if I find another area where I'm like, oh, that fits, I just drop it in.
That's the lazy way. That's the Renee way. I had another question from Ashi. They wanted to know, how long does it take for you to finish a project like this? So, I mean, I could say like probably about 6 hours because I've watched you almost be finished, but maybe this is not your version of finished. So.
This is not my version of finished.
Okay, all right.
Two things. If there's a deadline, you meet the deadline. So you work faster based on how much time you have a lot of times. If they're personal projects, I tend to mess with them a lot more. So, and it's in between things I'm supposed to be doing. So often they can take longer, but so it's kind of hard to say like, oh, this is how much time it takes. So, and I don't think you should beat yourself up if you take a long time doing something, because you'll get faster, you'll get more efficient as you do it. You'll figure out your flow. But yeah, 3 days of 90 minutes of drawing, like we're in a good spot for that because I don't normally work this way.
Well, I think you're in a great spot, but I totally understand. Everybody's got their own sort of feeling of what is finished and what isn't. So I respect that.
Yeah.
But it looks great, okay?
I'm not saying I'm not happy with it. I'm just saying I'm not done with it. I guess.
Totally.
I can be happier with it.
Totally fair.
Trying to make myself happy here.
Totally fair. So I just want to say hi to the chat. I noticed in there I've got Ryan Garcia. I actually went to school with Ryan. It's nice to see you, Ryan. I haven't seen you in years. Yeah, Ryan Garcia. He remembers me.
Are you sure it's the same one?
Yes, because he says Devil Girl Renee is Ryan from your class. I used to love to draw Devil Girls, and that was one of the characters I finished with my final project in school. Gotcha. So That's why he
I thought he was
remembers
calling you Devil Girl.
Oh, me? No. No. I'm not that. I'm not at that level yet. I'm just mischievous.
Mischievous girl.
Mischievous, not a devil. Not that bad. Is it hard to know the total time? Like, I guess Oscar wants to follow up on the time question.
Okay.
So I thought maybe we'd go with that. How do you price your projects? Do you price them based on time?
I try not to. Mm-hmm. I mean, I try to base it just on the project. And I know, I mean, I've done enough to know that I can do it within a certain amount of time.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So if I finish faster, cool. If not, then, or if I feel like I need to spend more time on it, you know, you just kind of put that information into the next time you price something. Like, oh, I didn't realize this was going to take me 80 hours. I thought it was going to take me 8 hours.
Yeah, totally.
Or if you do stuff, you present stuff and it's, you know, maybe it's not right, or you got bad direction from them, or you didn't get the right direction from them and you went down the wrong path, you maybe have to start over.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, I try to price just based on the project in general and what those deliverables are.
But you've been doing it a while, so you can kind of meter yourself. You know what you're gonna need for a project, probably.
Yeah, what I want.
What you
what
want.
I need.
Hey, that's fair. Peter wants to know how you're choosing the light source for these shadows. Are you thinking about like a cast light? Like, are you imagining?
I'm not necessarily imagining a cast light. I'm imagining what I want in front and what I want behind.
Yeah.
I think I probably could do better at like making my shadowing consistent in terms of like, oh, it's all coming from this side, but with these forms, I'm just, you know, I kind of think the things below would have a shadow, like this below that. Yeah, maybe this one wouldn't have one there because if it's coming from this side.
Well, it could be multiple lighting
But for me,
sources.
it's more about just kind of defining the form a little bit more while they can still interact and like connect and things. So
Yeah. It's already like changing just from those tiny little shadows.
yeah. So and then I have like a lot of kind of connection here. So you know I can define that E a little bit more, and so I might come up on this side. Mm-hmm. And I just like to redraw. I mean, this is here. I could draw something behind it, and then so I could draw this form. And then bring this part of the E to the front. You can bring things front and back with
Yeah, just
Command, Shift, and bracket.
Command, Shift, and bracket. That's easy to remember.
Yeah. You can bring things to the front. So I do that often, or I lock things. You can lock things quickly with just Option 2. So then you can actually select it.
That's helpful.
It is helpful because I tend to not use layers. I should probably be doing this on another layer just so I could more easily.
Layers in Illustrator are not like layers in Photoshop, though, so it's a little bit, I don't know. The fact that you can nest multiple forms, it's different.
Yeah. So yeah, that you know helps define this curve more. So your eye will visually just connect those there, where maybe here without it you don't follow it around or.
Yeah, it does. It defines that curve a lot better. Super good.
And that was looking a little thin there, so I'm just bringing those points down.
Now, what do you think you'd like to do with this once you think it's final, once you're happy with it? Did you have like a deliverable in mind? Like, are you gonna make a pin or a T-shirt, or what does the chat think this could be?
Yeah,
good for?
what should I make this into?
Yeah.
I don't have anything in mind for it really. It was just kind of an exercise in the forms themselves. And I tend to do that a lot too. I'll make something and then kind of print it out or have it and say like, should it become something else or does it fit something else? Like again, like if this could be painted behind a sofa or something like that, or you know, a big decal on the ground.
Ooh.
That'd be cool.
That would be cool.
Something large. It could be small too. It could be a button. I mean, it's got a roundish shape. It could just be a button.
Yeah. Button.
Could be nothing.
We've got wall sticker, iron-on patch, a blanket.
A blanket.
Wallpaper. I can imagine as a big wall sticker, yeah. I wouldn't want to put it up though. I don't know if you've ever put up vinyl stickers. It's in mass and large scale. It's very tricky.
I used to work at a sign shop.
He put up vinyl stickers.
I applied vinyl to many a large thing.
You must be a pro at it then.
I wasn't that good at it. My brothers were definitely better than me.
Little squeegees, getting the bubbles out.
Yeah. Or the wrinkles, or having to tear it down and re-put it up because it folded over on itself.
I love those big printers though, the big vinyl plotters. We used to have one at my old job, a Roland, like a giant one, just like when you can print stickers. That's super fun.
It is fun.
I want my own sticker machine. I actually totally want one of those Glowforges. Have you seen those?
Which one is that?
The Glowforge is like a desktop laser cutter.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I definitely want one of those. Because, laser cutting is so fun, and it's really suited to this kind of work, You can easily make pins or buttons or anything, little plastic trinkets.
Everybody loves a plastic trinket, right?
I mean, I do. Absolutely. I have so many laser cut things that I don't even know what to do with, honestly. I really do, because I used to just laser cut stuff just for fun.
At school, or you have a laser?
No. My old job had
okay.
a whole fleet of laser cutters, so we were able to use them anytime we wanted, and so anytime I wanted was all the time. So I would always be in there.
Get off the machine.
Yeah. Honestly, I was definitely in there a lot.
Where's Renee? She's at
Where do you think she is? She's either
cutter.
printing stickers or she's at the laser cutters. So I've had the Glowforge on like my short list of like expensive things to buy, but I just bought a car, so I need to not spend any more money.
What kind of car did you get?
Are you a car person?
No.
We talked a little bit. I was like, do you like sci-fi? And no, he doesn't like video games. He doesn't like cars.
I don't like things.
You don't know. You like plenty of things, I'm sure. But I think we should talk about something that you like instead of something that I like. My car is whatever.
Oh, okay. Well, I like the way this is coming out.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I
would like
too.
to paint a letter on a car. That would be fun. I've seen some of that. Some people do that.
Yeah. What's like the weirdest thing you've ever done? Like some crazy pattern or painting on?
What's the weirdest thing I've ever painted on?
Yeah, or done something like this. Like, oh, I had to do this for a car. Like, the example is like a car, but have you ever done anything unusual?
I'll think about that one.
Yeah? Just walls and stuff? Nothing too
Walls.
crazy? I see some people do notebooks. They'll do the cover of it, or they'll do like a
cover
laptop.
of my notebook.
The whole cover of a guitar. I've seen that, hand lettering of a guitar.
I drew on we had a kettle that broke. Sad. It was a sad day. It burned out.
I love tea.
Yes. And so I didn't know what to do with it. And before I threw it away, I was like, well, at least it's a little canvas. I can try to draw something on it.
That's cool.
I think I wrote, "You got me burning," or something like that.
That's awesome.
So that's not too bad. I'm actually pretty happy with the comfort.
Yeah?
In general. I
Just
think
the shapes and the size.
Yeah, just the way that the forms, the two words are interacting with each other, and I got to figure out how zone is gonna kind of get a little, come into the party here.
Yeah, it looks a little far away right now, huh? Come into the comfort zone. Yeah. Super fun.
Let's see, where should I go from next?
You can go wherever you want.
I can. Here, it's another decision to make. It's like, does this swoosh here coming off the C, does it go, probably should go behind.
Yeah.
So that this form isn't too interrupted. It's like, so does this mean that this whole thing is in shadow?
Or just It's a good question. Guys, I've totally forgot, but you guys see the little countdown there in the bottom of the screen, right? It is almost chat and win time. We have about 5 minutes, and I'm gonna tell you how this works. You're just gonna chat and you're gonna win. That's it. So, sorry, not all of you win. Just one of you win.
Just one of you.
Just one of you win. And what you're gonna win is this beautiful zine that Mark is kind enough to let us give away. So if you're not logged into Behance, you wanna log in right now, because that's how we're gonna contact you.
That's the only way you can win?
It's the only way you can win.
You have to be logged in.
Yeah.
No, that's what I'm saying. You have to be logged in.
We can't read your minds, guys. Not yet. But maybe soon.
Adobe's working on it.
We are working on it. No, we're not working on it. We're not. But yeah, you got about 5 minutes, and you get to win this gorgeous scene. So make sure you're ready. What should we ask them to chat for to win?
What did we ask the last 2 days?
I think we asked,
what's your favorite word?
What's your favorite word
font?
and font? Yes. And we asked them already what their favorite letter was, but we could do that again because it looks like a different crew. I see a bunch of people in here.
What's your favorite letter or portion of this piece so far?
Ooh, yeah, that's a great idea. We got it already sorted. You don't do it now, though.
Don't do it now. You have to wait.
You have to
Think
wait.
about it for a second.
Think about which one of these letters is your favorite. And
Or
then
even
shout
not the letter,
that
like, oh, I like the shadows. I like the way the types touching each other.
Yeah, exactly. Kaylin wants to know if you have any tips for loosening up with lettering, because he says that his lettering is far too rigid and he loves your swooshiness.
Too rigid. I would suggest do not use guides.
Don't use guides.
Don't use guides.
You mean the guides like literally like if you go to view ruler guides, those
Yeah,
guys?
or even if you're sketching and a lot of people want to like really plot out. It depends on what you're doing, but if you want to loosen up, try not using guides. Oftentimes the first thing I draw is relatively stiff, and so it's like, what's the next version of that? Can you make it less stiff? You know, just kind of work it out. Get something down, and then look at it. Give yourself feedback on like, I really like what this is doing. I don't like this, doesn't have enough movement to it, whatever, and then do that.
It's really good. It's really good feedback.
But I think guides are, you know, I think a lot of people are like, oh, it has to be within this container, or it has to be this shape, and that you can kind of restrict yourself that way. So.
I'm sorry, Kaylin, for my mistake. I saw your picture wrong. It's on a tiny, tiny little window that I like. I have terrible eyesight, actually. So Kaylin is I misgendered. I'm the worst person on the planet, actually. So Kaylin, I apologize. Yeah, I have such bad eyesight. Like, you wouldn't know because I wear contacts. But oh no, like, I have the thickest contacts. Like, I'm almost at the level where like they can't even let you have contacts.
You to have contacts.
Yeah, like, no, you need help. Like, don't do this. So yeah, I apologize for my mistake.
It wasn't intentional.
Not at all. But thank you for correcting me. I love that swoosh.
Yeah, it looks pretty nice. Maybe I would just put a piece, like maybe I won't do anything right there. Maybe I'll put a shadow in this area here.
Yeah.
If anybody, I mean, I know you could probably just paint these shadows in Photoshop or something, but I prefer to just do them this way.
And do you always work in Illustrator, or do you do stuff in Photoshop as well?
Rarely. I do sometimes, but I prefer to just work in Illustrator. I like that it's scalable to the forever.
Scalable forever is pretty sweet.
Especially if I don't know what I'm using something for. Like if it's for a specific project, then you kind of maybe have the parameters. But if I don't know what I'm going to use this for, I don't want to create stuff then need to make the art all bigger or whatnot. So
yeah, you get limited by roster, but you know, I love to paint, and there's really no way to make vectors look painted. You know, you can still always kind of tell. Even with the gradient mesh, it's like, no, that's too perfect.
Yeah.
So I always have to get stuck at some size, or I have to ask myself, like, how big is...
I'm working rather large right now.
Yeah?
So this is 11 by 17, and I've come out of the frame, and I'm working larger.
Who needs frames?
Yeah.
Mark don't need frames.
It feels restricting to have that box around my artwork while I'm doing it. So
that's some good feedback that maybe I will push on to someone else that might be able to not have a box there. That's kind of interesting.
You might be able to turn it off in the view
yeah.
or something, but
maybe you can.
It's easy just to move off to the side.
Rajan wants to know if anyone can suggest which colors are best for shadows. Now, you were telling me that you use the multiply mode, so maybe you could talk to them a little bit about why you do that.
Multiply, so if I did not have this on multiply, you would see the area that I've kind of overshot here in the black, and I don't want that.
And you don't want to be too precious either.
No, right now I'm not being super precise with it. I'm just kind of getting the general feel down for where I want it. So by having it just a 30, I think it's, this one's 42%. It doesn't matter. Clicking multiply, it did, we got stars.
Oh, we've got sparkles. So you know what that means? It's actually time to chat and win. Sorry to interrupt. We'll come back to learning about the multiply mode after this quick video. All right, so it's time for you to say what your favorite thing is about Mark's whole composition. You want to zoom out for the lovely
Actually,
people?
I don't think they're going to be able to see it.
Yeah, well, oh, that's right, that's right. So you better remember it real good. And one of you will be picked by the Skynet AI that chooses all our winners, which is a technical term, by the way. Skynet AI computer machine that chooses our winners. Who's it gonna be? Suspense is so great.
What are they writing here? The T and the chunkiness of the letters, so full of flavor. Thank you.
Shadow skills are
Wow,
great.
these are going by really fast.
I know, because people really want to win.
One just says bring.
Bring.
Oh, bring a stick.
Win. Swooshes.
Everything.
What was the term we used? Blob out.
Blob out.
We're blobbing out. Defining the shapes by only the shadows. Wow. Yeah, it's really changing with the shadows, which is cool to watch. Chill it, guys, says Toto. Sorry, we're doing chat and win, and Devin, you are our winner. Congratulations, Devin. You are going to win this gorgeous zine made by Mark.
Devin.
Yeah.
All right.
Congratulations.
And he likes the E. It looks like a squirrel's tail.
It does.
I think was that Devin's?
I don't know. I missed him.
Is that your comment, Devin? The squirrel tail?
I think so. Thank you so much, you guys. Now it's gonna chill out. Now the chat will chill out and we'll go back to normal pacing. Sorry about that. It gets a little crazy around chat and win. Now do not forget, they said show it again. I think they wanna see that though, but I'm gonna hold up the zine too just in case they wanna see that. Yeah, here, thank you. Yay, it's so beautiful. This is what you win. And now there's still time to participate here with Mark because we are gonna do a portfolio review. So if you'd like Mark to see your portfolio, please drop it in the tab, which should be above the chat, and hopefully you will get chosen, and Mark can look at your cool stuff.
And how many of those are we gonna look at? Is there a number?
It's 2.
2?
I think we can only look at 2 because we have limited time, so.
Very cool.
Yeah.
And how long do they have to do that?
So they've got until, I think it's 1 o'clock when we do that, but I'm sorry that I don't know. Let me try to look and see if I can see it in my notes. Now the team has set me up well with all the notes I need to perform, and I'm the one who just can't remember it off the top of my head, that's all. Yeah. I've got a question in here about where you can purchase your goods. And Mark's got a lot of awesome stuff on the internet for you to buy, actually.
Andrea posted a link to it right there.
Oh, cool, yeah. So that's where you're going to be able to buy.
Actually, that's not right.
No?
It's /goods.
Okay.
But
Yeah. pstypelab.com. So head over there if you want to buy your own copy. He's even got some really cool stuff. Pins and shirts and Apple Pencil wraps. I'm looking at it right now. Look at all this fun stuff.
ooh, I got that pin on right here.
Yeah? Heck
My
yeah.
little ampersand pin. You can't see that.
That's super fun. So check out his stuff, because it is really some great swag.
Let's see. I have added a shadow under this little kickoff from the O connection over to the M. This area is bothering me a little bit. And so I might just hold this here.
Give it a little bit of a push, and you're using shift click, right, in the pen tool. I think you said that yesterday.
I'm using the direct selection tool.
And
to-
that'll,
and then I
right
can
on the
move it
point.
around. Yeah. If I was to hold shift, it would snap there, and I don't. Well, that's not too bad. I could just bring it down. So. That'll be okay for now.
Yeah. More than okay.
More than okay.
Heck yeah.
You know, it's like, oh, do I want the M to touch the? Probably need to not do that. I changed a lot yesterday of the. If you look over here.
Yeah.
For the longest, I had the F kicking down underneath, and so I had a descender that came down. It kept thinking, because the M is such a wide letter, and it was feeling like it was kind of being smushed there. So I thought, well, if I just make that more of a straight bar on the straight stem on the F, it gives me an option to bring this part of this leg of the M down
and connect
and kind
to
of
that.
fill in on this area. And I could go more so that it gets, and it kind of helps bring zone closer together.
Yeah.
And then just kind of finagle that around. And then so if I do that, maybe to help distinguish this F from the M, I would put a shadow in just right here.
Yeah. Yeah, I can really see the changes with the M. You gave them a lot more room, and it looks more like an M now, whereas I think previously it was maybe a little cluttered. And I hadn't even noticed it until I saw this version. That's what's kind of crazy.
It's feeling very small to me right here.
But it doesn't look small to me when I only saw that.
Oh.
You know? So like seeing this version, I can see what you mean.
It looks a lot bigger and proportionally better, and now maybe the O looks a little small, but that's okay. Having some, in this style, having some variation in things, it's more about the mass of the form. So you can kind of get away with some stuff that's, if you were to just type this out, if it was a typeface, it'd be like, who drew these letters?
It looks more comfortable. Yeah. It's much more comfy. So Tim in the chat helpfully put your website in there and your Behance and Instagram and
Thank
Twitter.
You, Tim. Appreciate it.
Please follow Mark on all the things.
So with this too, I'm seeing that I maybe have an opportunity to just kind of kick the F out a little bit this way.
Javier says, insane work as usual, Mark.
Thanks, Javier.
Yeah.
I'm glad you guys are enjoying this.
They are. I'm enjoying it too because it's, again, like we said yesterday, it's actually just therapeutic watching you push points around. It really is, you know, like somebody knitting or anything sort of like repetitive.
And I'm doing more than pushing points around.
Oh, I know. Apologies.
No, I'm not saying it that way. I'm just, the reason I'm even moving the points is because I'm just constantly observing what I've done and tweaking it and changing it and adjusting it. So that's the pushing around is, I'm thinking here.
Yeah.
Which I tend to like work like this too.
I do that
my
too.
My head starts to tilt.
I think I make crazy faces when I'm drawing. I'm like, yeah, it's not pretty.
My wife keeps telling me that. She's like, you need to smile. I'm not smiling. I get this like frown when I work. I'm like scowling at the screen. So I'm smiling.
Concentrating.
Yes, it's concentration.
I do the same thing though when I'm working. For sure.
Maybe that F comes down and touches the N a little bit, and it helps again bring that, you know, it kind of sucks the whole word up a bit, whereas here maybe it was floating down.
Mm-hmm. I think so.
So I'll go up here.
You guys got about 20 minutes to submit your portfolios. Please don't forget. The tab is above the chat. I've got a helpful timer now.
We're under the clock.
Ugh, yeah. You've been mostly working with the pen tool and just sort of like making shapes, but do you work a lot with strokes or anything else?
I can do some. I can show you some stuff I'll do with the stroke.
Cool.
I mean, I'll finish comfort and then I'll go.
Yeah.
I'll do that.
Okay.
But yeah, it's still going to be the pen tool, but with just this using the stroke option.
Since I usually paint, I basically don't use anything other than the brush tool, so it's not like I'm not familiar with like one tool only, you know, one tool to rule them all. I don't use like, you know, more than $10 worth of Photoshop, honestly.
I guess you can't pay for just the tools you're using.
We don't piece it out that way.
Not that way.
And, you know, I might want to use something in the future.
Yeah.
Just because I'm not using adjustment layers doesn't mean I don't want them in the future.
That's something I definitely want to do is just learn the programs even more than what I'm comfortable using them with.
Yeah, they're so deep though. There's so far you can go, especially Photoshop, which is basically like everything you'd ever need to image edit anything in the whole world. So It's a lofty goal. I like that. Little chubby F.
Yeah, it kind of just defines that stroke going across there.
Yeah. It's really fun.
And I've done this before, and I feel like it reads. Some people may not think it does, but I kind of just removed that other leg from the R here. That's why if you look back here, that part that was bothering me, I just kind of made it come straight off the O. So
Yeah.
I still read it, and hopefully you do too.
I think it reads, absolutely. Yeah, because you gotta get the rest of the context from the word.
Right.
It looks like cursive. So Sarah just purchased one of your Portland pins, which is super awesome.
Thank you, Sarah.
Yeah, thank you, Sarah. Do you live in Portland, Sarah? It sounds like maybe you do. She's stoked for your swag.
Very cool.
Yeah.
I'll get that out to you as soon as I get home. I don't have it on.
Might be a little bit. So funny. Edward wants to know, like how the jazz musicians say, how do you know when you're done? How do you know when you're finished with a piece? I always feel like...
I'll be finished with this piece in about 18 minutes.
I always feel like I'm never finished with a piece. You're just abandoning it. Like I can't do anymore.
Yeah, I mean, it's if it's a personal thing, you for me, I can kind of let go a little bit. At a certain point, I'll just be like, it's done. And if I want to revisit it, I'll do that. But I'm pretty good about calling it done until I'm ready to continue working on it. It's also good to, like, I will have these multiple things going on at the same time, just so you can take some time away from it.
Yep.
You know, again, I print it out, put it on my wall, just kind of look at it every once in a while, and you'll notice things, you know, when you come back to it with fresh eyes that you didn't see before. So that's why time is always very helpful in and on projects. But then also, I love having a crazy deadline because it doesn't give anybody a chance to overthink it. You got to get something done. You do it.
Mm-hmm. And overthinking it can really kill the process.
Very much so.
I feel like sometimes you have to just go with your gut. So how many projects do you think you usually have in the works at a time? Like, 2, 3, 10?
0. Anybody want to hire me?
If you're looking to hire Mark, please dial up his website.
Schedule's wide open. It varies. It depends on the flow of, a lot of times if, what work around the holidays goes quiet because they've done all the things they need for that time. But for me, it's always good because when I don't have, commission work or other design projects, I've always got my typefaces to work on. So I don't ever feel like I have nothing to do.
Yep. And there's a lot of, I was complaining the other day, I've never even made a typeface, and I'm like, oh my God, all that work, all those letters, like, how do you choose? So that's something that I would feel like I'd always have something to do if I had a type in progress.
You should start one.
I know. I have to start one now. Mark's gonna hold me to it. I gotta start my own type. It'll be some chicken scratch awful of my own handwriting. It'll just be a mess, a delightful mess.
A delightful mess, there you go. You gotta start somewhere, so.
It's true.
I think I'm going to put this in here, under this part of the T.
Yeah, gonna swoosh that guy up.
So this one, I think it's here. Because this form is going this way, I think I need to make the curve go a little bit like that.
Have it follow the curve.
Yeah.
It's more cohesive.
I find myself moving when I'm doing stuff like this. I'm moving with it. I'm just trying to feel it out. So hopefully I'm not moving my head around too much.
Where do you sell your typefaces? Is it on your website directly?
The type is on PS Type Lab. They're also available with Adobe Creative Cloud through Typekit.
Ooh.
So if you have or use Typekit, you have access to all of the typefaces that I have released.
Typekit is sweet, by the way. The first day I was telling people about how I was a dirty serial user on 5.5, and I didn't know what Typekit was. So now that I know I can get your fonts, I'm actually super stoked. I'm gonna go get some of your fonts immediately after this.
Use them, people. Yeah. I didn't make them for nothing.
You got about 15 minutes until the portfolio review is happening. So if you want to submit your portfolio, please get it in.
You were talking about whether I used like strokes or line weight and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
I'm going to something like in that twofold piece. There's some
yes.
inlines and things just like in some of this work.
Maybe we could, yeah, there we go.
Yeah, like
and
this
then
piece
there's
here.
that beautiful inside piece. This one, oh wow, yeah. Like all these beautiful strokes here.
So I'll do a little bit of that on at least the 14 minutes. Let's see what I can get done.
All right, that sounds great. What I really love about that piece in specific is just the delicacy of the thicker lines and the thinner lines, and I don't know, it's really well balanced.
Oh, thank you. With this, I definitely will jump onto a new layer because it will become hard to select things if I don't. So I'm just going to use a black line. I think I'll just look at it at one point. But so this is where more just like, what do I want to do with it? If I want to kind of define this even more, like a lot of times I'll start with just like an inline. So if I'll basically try to find, and this is another way to just practice drawing with the pen tool. It's like if I wanted to just draw a stroke that went through the middle of this whole piece.
Yeah.
Just kind of, I know there's a blend tool, but I've not used it.
I do not know the blend tool either.
And I don't know that it would work well on these shapes, but.
Friends in the chat, if you know all about the blend tool, help us out a little bit. So once I'm done with my font that I've created, my messy font, how do I get it submitted to Typekit so that the whole world can use my messy font? What is that process like?
That's a good question. I don't know how they do it these days. I've been with Typekit before Adobe was an owner of Typekit. So I was reached out to by the creative director at the time when they were starting Typekit, and they was just like, hey, this is this independent designer in California at the time, and he's like, we should talk to him about getting his stuff on Typekit. And so I did. So I didn't have to go through that process with Adobe.
Lucky duck.
I guess they could have told me like they don't want my stuff. You're out. But
No.
They were nice to me.
Who's gonna tell you that? Look at this work. Oh man, that's super fun.
So again, I'm not putting them at the extremes, but I can adjust those to be that way.
Yeah. And careful point management is very important, as we learned on day 1 or day 2. It looks like the chat has informed us that Anna is the boss of the blend tool. So we're gonna have to talk to Anna about it.
Okay, we'll do that.
Yeah.
So with this stroke, I'm just trying to hit the kind of the center of this stroke.
Right.
I'm trying to make this line the center of these two. I'm just visually finding that and adjusting the curve so it feels like it follows that form.
Yeah, and it really does.
Yeah, and then I make my own decisions that I don't want to come straight down into this area, that I come down to this point right here.
Mm-hmm.
And if I was going to do that, maybe I would here and just splice off another line.
Oh, cool.
And just line those up. And then if I thought about that as its own thing, maybe that would have, like a little shadow inside of that.
Right.
So it kind of starts to feel like maybe it's peeling off.
Yeah.
Or there's like another layer of something on top. I don't know what it is. Just something I've been messing around with lately.
It's a cool effect. It's so eye-catching, honestly.
And with this, I might kick this up to the top of this stroke here. Just so it's not so symmetrical, or so like trying to be just like a hairline in the middle.
Yeah. It gives it more sort of motion.
Yeah. Come
Mm-hmm. Drake wants to know if you've ever struggled with imposter syndrome, which I know I have, so...
Yeah, I mean, I think everybody does.
Everybody does.
Like, I see people's work and I'm just like, they're so much better than I am. What am I doing? I'm a hack. I should do something else.
But that's not true. You are not a hack and you should not be doing something else. This is clearly your calling.
And those thoughts are natural to have, and I think it's just a matter of like trying to not let them fester and to kind of keep creating, keep doing stuff to kind of push past that.
And I think it's important to remember that pretty much anybody you see doing gorgeous work like Mark has had those same thoughts. We all have them. We all sort of doubt ourselves. I think that's just part of the process of being an artist.
Being on this show, I was like, why do they want to talk to me? Nobody. What do I have to show anybody? Like,
it turns
that's part
out
of the.
A whole heck ton. You have a lot to show off.
Well, I'm glad I did. So I'm glad I'm here.
I'm glad you're here too. Yeah. So cool.
Yeah, that looks pretty fun.
Yeah.
So I basically will just keep going with this.
Yeah, we'll keep going.
And every time I see an instance where I want to add something to it, I do.
Yeah.
Maybe this one is to come up
Ooh.
here. And if I do that, keep that, then I have an opportunity to kind of come in with this in this area and start back up there. So
And now it's all twisty and fun.
yeah, it starts to become something a little different. It doesn't have to make sense either. Like, this is not some kind of set in stone thing. So
It doesn't have to be.
yeah, then you start to get these other planes.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe I'll do this.
Give it a little swoosh too.
Yeah, and this is obviously, well, I kind of lined that one up okay, but a lot of times I'm just dropping these down to, again, get a sense of like, do I want to add that there?
Mm-hmm.
Not trying to be too precious with it, but
And I really admire that because I am definitely always too precious. Like, I'm just too dialed into the details, and it's something that I need to take a hint from you. You work faster and better when you, I don't know, take broad strokes.
yeah, broad strokes. That's how I work on typefaces in general too. I try to draw a big portion of it and
Yeah.
just look at it, use it, make adjustments from there. It's like molding. I feel like you just kind of like molding something.
Yeah, sculpting almost.
Yeah, sculpting. You've got the form down, and now you're just kind of massaging it until it feels how you want it to, or it looks the way you want it to.
Have you ever done sculpting?
I took a ceramics class in high school.
Yeah. I hear the throw is the hardest part with ceramics. Is that true, or were you using
I did.
wheels? No wheels. Okay.
No wheels. I think I did crosshatch and slip.
I don't even know what that means. I just know that like the
So
throw
that's
is
how
hard.
you make things stick together. I don't
Oh,
know.
okay,
If anybody
okay.
does ceramics, please inform us that we should stop talking about ceramics because we don't know what we're talking about.
Welcome to the show where we don't know what we're talking about. That's great. I sculpted in school, and I really like it, but we used that sulfur clay, and my thumb like swelled up because I was like,
What's sulfur clay?
well, it's just that regular weird green clay. It's got sulfur in it,
Oh.
and apparently if you just like handle it wrong and if you're Renee, my thumb swelled up to twice its size. Like, I have all these other fingers, and I'm just like, nope, using the thumb. That's all I'm using. I don't know. Can't be trusted with sulfur clay.
Did you walk around giving everybody a big thumbs up?
Oh my gosh. It actually genuinely hurt.
Oh,
like,
sorry.
No, it's fine. It was years ago, but like, no, I definitely did not, because it was pretty painful. It's so funny. So we've got a question on what kind of music you like to listen to, and a suggestion before you start that they feel like, I think his name was Drake, I'm sorry that I missed it, that you have a hip-hop vibe to your work, and maybe that's what you like.
Honestly, I sit in silence a lot of times.
What?
Yeah. Or I hear my wife's music, so whatever she's playing on like Pandora or something. I don't often. I feel like it's a lot of work to try to like be listening to the right thing. So I don't listen to music too much. But I do like when something is on, I'm often just kind of like I'm cool with it, you know.
But you don't really have
But I have
a
like
genre.
I don't really, yeah, no preference. When I was younger, I would go to like Warped Tour, you know, and punk concerts and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of mellowed out, I guess.
Paul says click, click, click. That's
Yeah,
click,
I
click,
hear
click,
clicks.
click, 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 click.
Oh, the sweet sounds of clicks. When I work, I do often put on just movies, random stuff I've seen before, just so it's something and it's not, but I'm not trying to pay attention to it.
Yeah, it's not sucking away your entire attention, but you can enjoy it.
Yeah. I tried to watch Narcos one time while designing type, and I was like, that wasn't even paying attention to what I was supposed to be designing. I was trying to read the subtitles. So
Yeah, you can't do
can't
that.
do that.
We got about 4 minutes until portfolio review, so please submit your portfolios if you have not done so already, and we'll see what Mark's going to take a look at in just a few minutes.
Get them in, people.
Get them in.
Man, I guess just try to finish the.
You can do that, yeah.
Maybe I come up in here.
I do that a lot. I watch things that I've already watched before while I'm drawing, because then, you know, you can just like focus on drawing. You're not so trying to watch what it is. And for me, that's Adventure Time, because that's like my favorite cartoon, and which means I can usually recite episodes.
There you go.
We got a Rick and Morty shout out, people like that. Rick and Morty's okay. I haven't watched it lately. It's a little, they try to be a little edgy.
Too edgy for you. Give me some suggestions of things I should.
Some suggestions of cartoons?
Anything I should do while I'm working besides sit in silence.
Besides sit in silence, besides the click, click, click. Well, I don't know. I mean, music is pretty great. So you could listen to soundtracks from your favorite movies, and that might be interesting. Because, you know, those can be kind of orchestral or abstract, and then it's not going to steal your attention too hard. Yeah, that's the only thing I can really think of. Or for me, I would probably be listening to video game music, because I do like that. But yeah, I pretty much stick to music. I don't have a certain music either. You know, the chat suggested maybe it looked like you listen to hip hop, and I definitely do. But I also listen to techno, and I listen to folk, and I listen to classic rock, and basically I cannot be contained by one genre.
Right.
Just about everything is what I like. Some of the chat say that they like to listen to like Final Fantasy music. There's hidden orchestras suggested. Yeah, there's a Castle Rock is an awesome show to watch, says Devin.
Is that the one about the dinosaurs, the puppets?
I'm not sure.
No, that's Fraggle Rock.
That's Fraggle Rock. No, Castle Rock I think is a Netflix show. Or no, maybe not. Maybe I don't even know what I'm talking about. Don't listen to me. Podcasts are a suggestion coming from the chat for something for you to listen to.
Good. Yeah, I should listen to more podcasts.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about podcasts. I'm kind of anti-podcast because I know it's terrible. I just because I'd have to be listening to them. I can't do another thing and listen to somebody speak. Like not in that way. Like it's just a little too tricky for me.
Yeah, it can be just. I guess that's the thing. I get distracted easily, so.
That's why you just want to click, click, click,
click, click, click. Let's see. What else can I add here?
Fizzy water time. Edward is giving you some compliments on he likes the flow, the depth, and the balance is incredible.
Thank you.
Your sign painting pedigree is totally visible.
Sign painting pedigree?
Maybe it was, we were talking about how you used to make signs. Yeah.
Those signs those banners were pretty ugly.
Well, were you designing them though? You're probably just printing them, right?
Yeah, I was just doing like installation at the time. I didn't do much of the design work at that point.
I could not imagine what you would see in a print shop. The things I've seen, the things that have come across my printers, like, whew.
We'd get like faxes, like, can you make this into a banner? Like, what are you talking about?
It's like 50 pixels by 10 pixels. It's so funny.
That's weird. I'm gonna delete that one. Well, that's
That looks great. And you hit it right on
the
time.
zero.
Yeah.
And that's the time.
All right, so friends, it is time for us to review your portfolio submissions, and we're going to be back after a little video, okay? So hang on tight. We'll be right back. Okay, hi! Sorry, we went to outer space while we were gone. We forgot to tell you that we were gonna go to outer space. It is time
How do you wear these things?
for the portfolio review. You can wear them any way you like. Pull this up. Are we required to wear them during the portfolio review? Is that like, no? I'm hearing a no from my fabulous directors that we don't have to wear
But we're
them.
not required not to wear them.
But we're not required not to wear them. That's fair. That's very
Have
fair.
you ever injured your neck?
All right, I'm taking it off so that I can focus on driving our portfolio review.
Or wear mine so I don't bite myself.
Yeah. Oh, is that a problem? Do you often bite yourself? Okay, friends, here we go. We've got two fabulous people to review right now, and I think we'll start out with Josephine.
Hello, Josephine.
So Josephine is an illustrator and designer. Looks like they're out of Stockholm, Sweden, and mother of two adorable kids.
Okay.
So here's sort of like an overview of their entire page. You know, I thought maybe we'd take a little bit of look at that. It looks like she's got a really great
There's
range.
quite a few. Yeah.
Quite a few. Does anything pop out you want to take a look at first?
Let's look at. Let's see, where can I see this one?
Yeah.
What's the Going Places magazine?
Going
June
Places
2018. Moscow. This in
magazine.
here.
All right. This is
There's
really
like
nice.
a magazine spread.
Yeah, it does look like a magazine spread. So we've got the Historical Museum and the Museum of Fine Arts here. It must be from Moscow. Is that right, Josephine? It's really great work.
Very cool.
You know, if I was to give you some feedback on this, I would just want some more context, you know? I'd want to
Yeah.
know what is it and why did you make it, and that would help me sort of understand what you're doing here. But what I really like are you're using a lot of fun colors that I would not use together, but I like the way they look.
Yeah, the palette works really well. I like it in the buildings and that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But yeah, it would be good to know like what the parameters for this were, or what it was about.
And Behance lets you do that. You can add text and you can add multiple pictures to your project. So know that you could write sort of almost a whole story. I've seen beautiful pages that are like a magazine, you know, like you even do that on yours. You lay out all your different pieces of what you've been working on. So I think you could definitely do that, and we'd be really stoked to see it. Let's see what else we got here. I see some really cool illustrations. And she did the Adobe Live
She did
as
some
well.
Adobe thing.
Yeah.
How about this Friends, this pig guy here?
Yeah, let's check him out. I pretend I don't care what people eat, but it really bothers me that they eat my friends.
It really what bothers you? Sorry, we can't do it.
We're being good.
That's
We're
good.
being good.
Cool.
Are you vegetarian? I'm veggie too. I wouldn't eat your friends, I promise. But what I really like about this is the mocha pot. Isn't that cute?
That's rad. Yeah, I like the
Super
pig.
rad.
I actually really like the type in this. It's it has that. I could feel like the pig is saying it. It really, the styles match really well.
With the character?
Yeah, with the character.
Yeah.
Sounds like the voice of the pig. So.
Yeah. And, you know, you filled in all the holes there to the fonts. And I don't,
Counters.
what are they called?
They're called counters.
Counters,
Remove the
yeah.
counters, yeah.
Remove the counters. That's the technical term. So
Yeah.
that's how I'd say that if I knew what I was talking about. I really like that because it's charming.
It adds a nice texture to the wording
Yeah.
by having those like dark spots.
I want to see some of our other illustrations, I feel like. What about Swedish Christmas food made vegan? So yes, it looks like someone's maybe interested in veganism. Yeah, there she has said it in the chat. And these are beautiful. I love illustrations of food. So fun.
Yeah, really nice line work and color. I like the colors again. They really pop off the page. Again, I would like to know what this is.
Yeah, just
For-
more context. Like, why did you do this?
Only so that we know like a little bit more about why maybe we can understand why you did the things that you did. Because if we're just looking at it for the aesthetics, like they're very nice illustrations. So just understanding a bit more about the project is always good.
Yeah. Should we look at one more?
Sure.
Which one would you like to check out, Mark? Which one catches your eye?
Oh, it's another pig, though.
You want to see the pig?
No, let's try something else.
Okay.
Let's go up to the... Scroll up. What's the Rose Garden journal cover?
Rose Garden journal cover. That looks like some gorgeous lettering.
There we go. Nice.
Oh, wow. A garden is a grand teacher. Above all, it teaches trust.
Very nice. Yeah, the type layout's really, really great. You have some nice use of like a variety of styles going on, but they work really well together. You've tied them together with the colors. Yeah, that's really nice. I'm assuming, it's a magazine cover.
It looks like a magazine cover to me. I think down here it says assignment for boot camp. So it must have been some sort of like class.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah, it's super gorgeous. I love these colors. Josephine, thank you so much for submitting your portfolio. Really lovely. Everyone, click on Josephine's name and follow her on Behance for more gorgeous art like that. So we've also got Daria. Daria is our next participant in the portfolio review. It looks like Daria is an independent creative director from Moscow. She does graphic design, calligraphy, and art direction. So let's just go ahead and take a sort of visual look. It looks like I'm seeing packaging design, I'm seeing illustration. There's a lot of cool stuff here. Where should we dig in?
Let's see, scroll back.
Make this bigger.
There we go.
Lemon Tuesday.
What's the hand-lettered Cyrillic logotype for sports intensive?
Wow.
Nice.
That is nice. It's got a lot of movement
It's got
to
some
it.
great, it's great movement. It feels like it was drawn with like a marker or something, but it looks actually like it was vectorized. What does it say it's for? I'm sorry, I'd like to know what things are for with this.
Totally. I want to know what they're for too, but I think if we spoke Russian, we'd know what it was for. So maybe, she's in the chat there, Daria, so maybe she could give us a little bit of context. And again, that's good feedback. Just, tell us what it is. And maybe it's at the bottom. We haven't scrolled all the way to the bottom yet, so let's go all the way down. Just thank you for watching, so no. But to me, it feels like this is clearly for like a gym or something, right? Or maybe it says for sport intensive. I'm not sure, but it's really cool. And this reminds me of work that maybe somebody would do in Dimensions as well. Have you tried Adobe Dimensions?
I have not.
It's a pretty cool product. You can design products and labels before you actually print them, right? It's a 3D tool, and it's made easy for people like you that just do graphics and type and illustrations. Very cool.
Let's check out a packaging thing.
Yeah. Maybe something like this. This looks pretty complicated and awesome.
7 times measures once.
Hell yeah, 7 times measure, cut once.
Nice.
Yeah. Nice little package.
Yeah, it's a nice combination of the type and photography. The presentation of it's very clean. It looks great. I don't know what it says, but
Looks like it's something for cooking, right? So it's like a tenderizer and some sort of
like a gift box, maybe.
Yeah, a little gift box. That's super great. It's really nice layout here too. Very professional. Let's check out one more. Which one would you like to see next?
Let's see what letters is.
Yeah, of course you do. It says drawing and typography.
Nice.
And it looks like this one's an older piece too. Sorry to go back so deep in your portfolio here, but this is really intriguing. The king.
King? I think it says king.
Yeah, the king.
Oh, the king and I. There's
Yeah.
an I. Nice.
Very clever. It's really nice.
Yeah, it's gorgeous stuff.
Yeah, Daria says we're looking at her student work.
Oh,
but you know what, Daria?
It's fun. It's playful. Yeah.
It's really fun.
We can find maybe one if it's not
Yeah, let's look at one more that's maybe more recent so that we're not like digging into Daria's dark past here. Here, we'll go up and find something that's more recent. What do you think?
Let's try the Lana Lee.
Lana
Brand
Lee.
Identity.
Ooh.
A nice little calligraphy going on there.
Yeah. So much movement in it too. this is really nice.
Yeah, the usage of the how the logotype is used on products, like for this specifically, it's really nice. She's given it a lot of air, so it's a light letter forms, so it has a lot of breathing room, but it has like a real nice elegance to it.
Yeah, agreed. And I really do like the lavender and then the light pink background. I didn't notice until I saw it. You know, like I just didn't even see it until I realized that this bag was white, and I just think that's a really nice little nice piece. Here we go. There's the tag.
And the tag.
Yeah. And here.
The one thing I would say about it is those L's can possibly, especially when it's not so much when it's larger, but when it's smaller, they could be read as C's.
It's good feedback. Ugh, looks so good together.
It's a nice little package there.
Yeah. Well, that's super nice. Daria, awesome. Thank you so much for submitting your portfolio. So, I think that's it. That's super great. You guys are extremely talented. Daria and Josephine, thank you for being a part of the chat today. Everybody in chat, follow them and check out their cool work. And
They're going to be doing more portfolio reviews next session.
Yes, they will. Yes, they will. So if you would like your portfolio to be seen by, I'm sorry, it's not Selena.
Cindy.
Cindy
Ethel.
Yes, so stick around. You can still submit it for the next session. But I think for now, we'll go back to the comfort zone and see what's going on there.
We've got the
comfort zone.
Let's see, where I can continue to. Oh, here's something else I'll do sometimes. I guess I'll do this. After I kind of like get this kind of line work down, that I'm kind of I like what that is, or I might come in and draw a shape underneath it.
Ooh. And again, you're just going by feel, like you were saying.
Just feeling out the form.
You just explore it. Anna wants to know how you submit your portfolio. There should be a tab at the top of the chat, Anna, and you can go ahead and just submit your Behance portfolio through there, and they'll check it out hopefully on the next stream. Have you ever done a portfolio submission like that? No? I actually haven't either, even though, I went to school for art, and I've been through many brutal art reviews and critiques, but I've never quite, I've never gone to something like Adobe or gone to like a convention and submitted my portfolio, but it's pretty popular. It's a really insightful thing to do, to hear somebody else's viewpoint of your work.
I think it's a little easier in person. I feel like having a conversation with the person that you're reviewing their work, you get more context. You can kind of ask questions and kind of get a sense of what they were going for. Outside of that, you're just we're looking at it in formal aspects, and it's a little harder to know. So if you could give good descriptions in your account about what the project is, it's definitely helpful for other people. To understand what you're coming from.
That's probably the biggest piece of feedback we have is just, fill out what the thing is and why you did it. And that would help us, sort of understand. Just that context is super critical. So cool. I can't believe we're almost done. Can you believe it?
It's almost over.
It's almost over.
It's been a good time, yeah?
It has been a good time. It's been super great. Hanging out here for the last 3 days.
3 days.
If you missed it, you can go to the replays tab up at the top and check out what Mark did on day 1 and on day 2.
Yeah, I've had a lot of people asking if they're being replayed or if they're anywhere because they, were at work or something and couldn't watch. So.
Yeah, that's the lucky thing about YouTube is you can just always come back and watch it anytime you want. They live both on YouTube and on Behance, so you can find them in both places. You're inspiring me to do swishy.
Be swishy. Get blobby with it.
Get blobby with it. It's pretty great. So when I go about my font adventure, when I decide to make my font, how am I going to start that? What would you suggest to somebody who's a brand newbie who had never made a font before? What should I do?
You should... hold on 1 second.
Take your time.
Think about that. You should have an interest in it, first of all. You should look at a lot of other typefaces.
Okay.
Kind of especially when it's when it's your first one. It's hard. It's hard to like, whether you should just be left to do whatever you want and kind of figure it out, or whether you should try to like follow a specific model. But I would say there's a couple. I know Glyphs has a mini version.
Glyphs?
Glyphs is a font editing program. They have a mini trial version that you can use, which is it's good for sure, and it give you a sense of whether or not you would want to continue before you fork over a lot of the money for getting the program itself. But yeah, you can also just start like I did in Illustrator when I didn't know any better, and I just you make a couple things like this. You're like, oh, here's an H,
Hey, don't steal my idea.
And
no.
There you go. Now you have a word. It says hi.
What?
Now you want to scream it, so you just give it.
Hi.
Give it. Oh,
oh yeah! Exclamation point. Wow, you did that so fast.
This is the fastest I've ever worked.
Definitely impressed with that.
Yeah, I mean you can create geometric modular type, kind of just that kind of thing. You can just get a sense of whether or not you're drawing all these letters is something you want to continue to do.
Any other newbie tips you might give a brand new newbie?
A lot of drawing.
A lot of drawing.
Like you can draw on pencil and paper, and just to kind of get some, explore ideas before you jump into the computer. That's obviously a good idea. Yeah, I don't know. Sorry,
Don't be sorry. Keep working. I don't mean to distract you with a question. I know that you are working on your comfort zone, but I just thought, there might be some other newbies out there who might want to know what it's like to start out. But Glyph is it's good to know that it's a trial that I can mess around with. And you know what? Illustrator's awesome. You just impressed me highly by just pumping out a little letter form just like that. Hi, immediately. It's like magic, man.
Oh yeah.
I think this would be really good as a pin.
A pin?
Yeah. If I had to choose, I think I'd like the comfort zone as a pin.
So, if I was making this a pin, I would probably have to redraw everything.
Oh no, what did I do?
No, only because obviously you're not going to wear a pin that's like this big.
Okay, that's fair.
So,
but you don't know me. I might.
don't, maybe. But if I scale this down and print it out at a size this size, it would probably fill in quite a bit.
Mm-hmm.
It's not that it couldn't be done. I just would have to make a lot of adjustments, opening up the counters and things like that.
Yeah.
Just so that it would become more legible, and also with if you're making a soft enamel pin, those forms often bleed a little bit and they're kind of not super sharp. So that would be my take on if this was a pin.
Sounds like you've done this before.
I've made a few pins in my day. But also working at the size, like if I knew that, my design might have been totally different. Like if I was gonna make a comfort zone pin, I may have chosen to do this whole completely differently.
Right.
Knowing that was gonna be the final iteration of it, or the final thing. So, yeah. I can make a comfort zone pin, but it would be very different.
You'd take shapes into it and composition and everything else into.
Sure, and most of all, for a pin or a button or anything, it's the size of it.
Yeah.
It's like a logo, like oftentimes logos need to work at big and small, so they sometimes become simpler.
Yeah.
So like all this line work, it would probably get ditched.
I mean, I can see that, because I'm looking at your beautiful pin that you're wearing, and it's, the detail is gorgeous on it, but I can imagine that it didn't have any of these sort of tiny, thin bits that maybe wouldn't read as well at this big.
Yeah.
So vectors are fun because they're infinitely scalable, but you gotta make sure your final product at least has the right scale. Even though you can infinitely scale your vectors, it's more than just the size of it, it's the shape of it. It's great. there's one more thing I forgot the entire time to tell people about, is that they've got an XD challenge, actually, that will be going on until Saturday. So if you wanted to participate in a challenge and you didn't get a chance to the last 2 days, there is still a challenge that you can be a part of, and there's a template that you can start out with to submit by this Saturday. So if you guys are itching to try out our brand new experience design tool, XD, you can do that. The XD challenge page, I'm sorry that I don't know where that is. Maybe I could put that in the chat for everybody. Or maybe Tim can help me out, because I think Tim was in there making that work. I just want you guys to know that we do a lot of fun stuff here around Adobe, and so please be a part of it. Please come take part in our fun challenges and win cool stuff and get creative. That's what we're all about.
How have you enjoyed your first hosting? Besides the guest, I mean.
Oh, come on. Mark has been nothing but incredible. I've learned a lot personally just by watching you. I really like hosting. I'm just not afraid of making a fool out of myself in front of a bunch of people. Like, that's something that I'm totally, weirdly comfortable with. So yeah, it's been great. I hope that the team has liked my first experience hosting. I know that there were a couple little hitches and videos not played, but I'm getting some thumbs up. Oh, Mark, thank you. I really did enjoy it. It was really a lot of fun. And you've absolutely inspired me to make my own type.
Oh, cool.
I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna go to Typekit, I'm gonna get your fonts, and then I'm gonna make my own. It's almost time for us to wrap up, so I'm just gonna throw that out there, friends, that we've got just about 4 minutes left, I believe, and that'll be it for me and Mark. But if you didn't see what happened earlier in the comfort zone, if you want to see what the beginning steps were, you can catch that on the replays, which is above the player there, and see what he did to get to this point.
I will for sure be finishing this in some shape or form. I don't know what it will become, but I will make sure to show everybody what ends up with it, what it ends up as. I can't talk right now.
That's okay. It's really just been so inspiring to watch you just bring this to life. And please stay tuned, because even though we're going to be finished in a few minutes, that is not all. We've got Cindy coming up, and they're going to do some really awesome hand lettering as well. And then here at Adobe Live, we actually do this weekly. So every week, well, most weeks. Some weeks I think we take breaks. I'm not sure what those are.
Take breaks every once in a while.
We take breaks every once in a while, but we usually do a theme every week here at Adobe Live. So this week it's been hand lettering, and next week I'm not even sure, but
it'll be something.
It'll be something, and it's gonna be fabulous.
Basically, you can tune in any time, and it's gonna be something cool.
Yeah.
That looks weird.
Tom says that we're doing a great job this week. Thank you, Tom.
Thanks, Tom.
Sure did enjoy being here. Chat, you were so good to us. Thank you for being such a great chat. Really appreciated that. They were.
They were. Way to chat.
Way to chat. Asking questions, getting involved. What a good crew. Looks like Jan says next week is UX design, so that's really fun. So if you want to, you could try that challenge and then get into the UX design. It's gonna be great. I've never designed anything like that. Never done any experience design or layouts or app stuff. Me neither. I think you have to be really empathetic and think about what the user is going to be. Who they're going to be and what they're going to do. I don't think I could do UX design. I'll stick to painting and making a mess and making my new font.
You make your messy new paint font.
My messy new paint font. Joseph says this week's been awesome. And I agree.
Thanks, Joseph.
Yeah.
I'm doing it again. I'm smiling.
It's like the last minute of the last part of your stream on the last day, and he's got a smile on his face. He's just concentrating. Mark's trying to get this finished so that he can like show it off, which is totally awesome.
I think I have to be done with it.
Yeah, you have to be done with it.
For now.
Dude, it looks so great. It really does.
Well, we can look at what it started as.
Yeah, let's take a really quick little recap. We should go in like 30 seconds, but
Okay,
yes,
let's do
let's take a little recap.
Well, I'll just find this first sketch, and I'll find this piece, and we'll see
Yeah.
how different they are.
Here's the first sketch.
This is the sketch. Well, this was the vector sketch, but you can see even from this that I had went through refining for a day, it's
Yeah,
totally different.
it is totally different. Oh, how cool. Well, Mark, I sure really enjoyed being here.
Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, I
was
had a
great.
great time. Thank you so much, chat. And please stay tuned and check out Cindy up next, all right?
I suppose it did sound funny. I used to lie out on the beach, close my eyes, may there be a pretty girl lying on the sand next to me.